Repairs to the Osterville Bay School fields and new Barnstable I-Forum topics on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, November 27th, 2012. I'm Sarah Colvin. The Recreation Commission recently completed a report prioritizing recreational areas in town that are in need of repairs. The Osterville Bay School made the list, and this week, Director of Leisure Services Patty Machado was before the Community Preservation Committee asking for funding to begin work there.
As you look at these pictures, they kind of speak for themselves as to why we're here. This is the playground that was originally put in when the building was put in the 50s, I believe. That's the new playground in the 50s that was put in, and it's still there. It's still in existence, and it's really, we've modified it as much as possible to make it usable, but really not something that is really long-term usable. The next is the additional playground that was put in. The Cobb Fund put these in at most of the schools. It's a big toy, and it's not conducive. It does not meet the safety regulations that are set forth at this point in time. And with no school being there, most of the people that are utilizing this facility are the preschool kids, and it is definitely not usable. Look at the ladder. A 3-year-old sure and heck is not even able to climb without smacking their head on the ladder across the from one part of the playground to the other. Also, tires are no longer able to be utilized in that manner because they retain water, and they also are full of bees. By the end of the summer, we end up with most of the yellow jackets, I think, on Cape Cod, and running out of those little tires, so kids are getting stung quite frequently. The ground covering that is utilized in that is also completely gone for the most part. There's big holes. The edge of the playground makes it so it is not handicap accessible in any way. There's no way for a handicapped person to even get to that facility without being carried. Over to the right is a picture of, that's the newest piece of equipment that was just put in before the school left, the jungle gym. That's in fairly good shape, and we may be able to save that if it still fits in, but it needs ground covering in order to meet the safety standards. Next is the beautiful tennis courts that we have there which are highly utilized. And if you're looking at, you can see the cracks. It's in complete disrepair. It's not safe. There's grass growing. There's only so much mowing you can do without, and that's not a place that we need to bring the lawnmowers in order to be able to play tennis. So that needs to be fixed. And we are hopeful that we will be eligible for a USDA matching grant for our tennis courts. One of our employees has been very involved in the USDA, so we're hopeful. They've told us that we will be eligible, but we'll see what happens. But I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to get some additional funds from them of matching grants. This is the infields. As you look at them, you can tell that they're in pretty tough shape. The back, I'm trying to see how we use this thing. In the back, the whole thing is a complete wreck. There's no way, I can't show you the, right here where I'm pointing, there used to be actually if you here, that used to be a tree. There used to be like a 3-foot tree here, but before we got there, they pulled that out. Unfortunately, it would have been nice to be able to show you, but that's the infield. That's what kids are trying to play on and not trip, fall. There are holes throughout the entire, it's not even level in any way. This is, that's an infield. I mean, that's just insanity to me. And this is the other one that you're not sure if that's the infield or the outfield. That's the other field that's out there. You can't even tell if what's the infield and what's the outfield. There's no lines to change that. This is the outfields that you're looking at now. There are big, huge ruts. People have driven over them. I mean, you can see this hole here. It's collecting leaves and garbage. It's pretty deep. That's a soccer field. That's what you're running across. If some kid falls, they're going to trip and break an ankle. Very scary to me. And these are the outfields. you just look at them, they're just disgraceful. Over here in the left-hand corner, you can't see it, but I would want to have that removed. It's a basketball court that's really not utilized very much. The school used it when it was in there, but it's in the middle of the field. So if you hit a halfway decent ball, you're in the middle of the basketball court. Really wasn't designed for any kind of competitive use or organized sport use. It's just a playground where people would get together and throw and catch, and younger kids could play with their parents. But kids don't get together anymore, as I said at the last meeting. They don't get together to play like they used to. Most things are all organized. There is the recreation. That's the recreation facility that's in the back next to the basketball court. That is not up for discussion at this point in time. That's on the town manager's radar at this point. So the tennis courts are in the very back. There are 2 fields, this field here, and then there's another one in the way in the other corner. I'm not sure what the long-term use will be in order to make sure that it can be. I'd like to see adults be able to play on this field. I'd also like to see some sort of soccer and multi-user field available. We do have soccer currently. We could have lacrosse in here. If it's all planned out well, we should have a lot of activity able to play here. Right now, it's really not playable. It's quite a shame that we have such a beautiful piece of land and it's not being utilized. This is the lot that got broken up. This used to all be one piece of property. Lot 2 is what we are discussing. Lot 1 is where the school is. So we're requesting $32,000 in a conceptual design, and it has, we'll have up to 4 meetings with the stakeholders and the staff. Then we'll be meeting with to try and get as much input as possible from as many users and from as many people out in the community as possible, so that we can make sure that the design meets as many needs as possible for our entire community. I also would like to say that I'd like to see the Osterville Village get involved like Centerville has done. They just finished their playground at the school. I'd like to see Osterville get involved like they did in helping to pay for at least the playground section of things. I think that they should be able to support us in that manner. I'd like to get the money from the USTA to support us with the tennis courts. And I also have pickleball. I don't know if anybody's familiar with pickleball, but that's becoming up and growing sport here. And they're very, very excited to see us maybe looking at that. So that'll give another use. And one of the other things that was brought forward is the street hockey has grown greatly in this community as well. So that might be something else that would be added to this facility. It would be able to fit in. I mean, there's just so much opportunity here, and the village of Osterville has nothing at this point in time. With the Osterville Elementary School now under the Cape Cod Collaborative has that facility, and they're doing a beautiful job with it, but it's not open for the community to utilize. So this is really the only facility that Osterville would have. So it's time for us to give something back to that area as far as recreational space goes.
The Community Preservation Committee gave its nod to that application. You can watch the entire meeting online at town.barnstable.ma.us. Another way in which you can provide input, of course, is through our Barnstable I-Forum. It's the town's online virtual town hall. You can log on, sign up, and share your thoughts from the comfort of your own home 24 hours a day. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Several new topics of discussion will be posted on the I-Forum this week, including a topic regarding the Recreation Commission's report, asking you how you feel about the projects that made the list. We're also talking trash, specifically how do you dispose of your household trash. We're also looking for input on the proposed problem property ordinances. New topics will be posted this week. Check it out at barnstableiforum.com. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.